Today we're going to be talking about we're going to be doing something I've never done before, which is respond to a comment. This is not like a attack comment kind of thing, but one of the number one rebuttals or kind of questions I get from men. I never get it from women, and there are let's just say a lot of women have seen this stuff. Not one single woman has had a rebuttal to this. But I always get guys who have a rebuttal to this. Mm-hmm. And they're usually a particular kind of guy. And so in that, I want to bring some awareness and understanding to what I'm referring to whenever I mention speaking to a woman in a sexual manner. What does that mean, right? Because if you're a guy who just haven't had a lot of experience with women, that's understandable that you're not going to have the experiential understanding. You may have conceptual knowledge of what women are attracted to, but you don't have the experiential understanding because there are two forms of knowledge, right? If conceptual knowledge was sufficient, then you'd be able to produce the result in your life. And if you can't produce the result in your life, that means you don't know, right? You think you know, which is fine. I don't mean this in an insulting or even a demeaning way. But my goal is to help guys change and get change in the areas of life they want. And so I thought this guy did an excellent job of giving timestamps and all this. And I'm going to go over this today with everyone. We're going to go through this together so that if you can relate to what he's about to say, then you can also get some clarity. So as I mentioned, I talked about the 4 pillars. Second pillar was being comfortable with your sexuality. And so he comments, in regard to the second pillar, what about women who complain about being approached by men sexually at like conventions, specifically citing them acting sexual as to what made them feel uncomfortable, referring to the woman, and wishing that they could just attend without being approached, ? And then he follows to say, how does it benefit them to say that more men should act openly sexual? So, and I'll get into what I responded to. But basically my response, because a lot of what you're about to hear in the video are things that the commenter heard and not things that I actually said, right? And this is a very common misconception that I notice. If I say the word sex, you have your interpretations of how important that is, how taboo that is, how non-taboo that is, what your relationship with the word is. And so your perception of what I mean, especially if you lack the experience of what I mean, what that looks like, will differ from what it actually means.
Right.
And so I'm trying to give an example, but we'll just go into it. And so I'll address the first part. What about the conventions? So first thing I'll explain is that, and I said this in the video, and we're going to get to some timestamps in a bit. I said this in the video before, and I said it's in the video. Women want to meet men that they want to meet. Right. Women don't want to meet men that they don't want to meet.
Yes.
So this is very important because this is where I'll be a bit more frank. Not all guys are equal on the sexual marketplace. In the realm of attractive men, not all men are equal. There's some men that have a very small range of women that will naturally be attracted to them, just visually, not accounting for personality, right? You may be overweight, you may be on the shorter side, you may not be the best looking in the face, you may have that won't stop anything, which is the point of seductive conversation, which we'll get to in a moment. And so I always encourage that guy to understand there are things you can do to increase the range. So if in every room you step in, there are 20 women and only one woman in every 20 women would go for you, there are things you can do to have it go up to maybe 5 women out of 20 or 6 women out of 20. Right. I'm not saying that you'll have 20 women out of 20, like, maybe some guys who have a naturally better looking, more physically attractive to most women will have. But there are things you can enhance to actually increase the range of women you have access to. And you don't need to have all 20 unless it's an ego thing, right? You just need the women that want you, the women that want you. Mm-hmm. So that's the first foundation, let's lay. A woman, if she's not interested in you, it doesn't matter where you are. You could be at a bar. You could be at a strip club. You could be at a grocery store. You could be at a sex party. It doesn't matter. That doesn't mean every guy who wants her has access and she's receptive to.
Right.
So women only want guys that they want. So what does that mean? So he goes, what about women who complain about being approached by men sexually at conventions? I'm going to address the approach part first, and I'm going to address the sexually part first. Second, women don't want to be approached by men they don't want.
Period.
Just drop that there. Women do want to be approached by men they want.
Yes.
If you approach a woman, if a woman goes to a convention and she's unavailable, let's say, for example, or she is approached by 10 men who she finds unattractive, or 10 men that she may have been open to, but they're very creepy, their conversational skills are horrendous, which is the case with most guys. Again, I'm not going to hold back today. And guys think they know what they're doing, and they don't know what they're doing, and they think what they're doing is all there is to be done. They think they know women more than they do, and they don't know shit. And because they don't know shit, they have nothing to evaluate of.
Right.
But I said hi, but I said, oh, and you think what you intended for her to hear is what she felt.
Right.
When she's really creeped out and you're like, I just said hi. She did not want you, right? It could have been verbal, or it could have been through your subcommunication. Right. I mean, it could be physical, or it could be through your subcommunication. If 10 men that a woman doesn't want approaches her, she's going to complain.
Yeah, like why they keep approaching
yes.
at these conventions.
Yes.
But if it was a man,
right. If 5 guys who are top of her tier list approach her, she'll be calling her girlfriend saying, "Girl,
yes,
I don't know
one of them nights, like,
right? I don't know if it's the cologne, but I'm feeling gorgeous. I'm feeling amazing. All these handsome, wealthy, amazing guys have just been trying to get it." Mm-hmm. She's not going.
This one guy talked for hours.
Oh, we had such a strong connection. Right. The rules don't apply for every guy in the same way. So when I read this and say, "What about men? Women complaining about being approached by men sexually at conventions?" Again, depends on who's approaching her. This is the joke of the HR. One guy says, "Hey, Mary." She giggles, "Oh, John, stop it." Right? The next guy says, "Hey, Mary," and she's in HR.
Right.
Right. And so they both said, "Hey." But, and there are other reasons for why one person's hey might have been different. But if a guy has no point of reference to go, "Hey, can somebody who does this evaluate what my conversations look like?" Because usually the only evaluation a guy has is himself.
Right.
And he thinks he's doing fine, and he's a 2 out of 100 in conversation, and he thinks it's because he's ugly. Mm-hmm. No, you're creepy, but you're not creepy because you're inherently creepy. You're creepy because you don't know how to speak. Right. You're doing things you don't know you're doing to repel women. Where's the point of reference? Nobody's around when you're doing it.
Right.
And so if you do that 3 times in a row, you conclude, I'm just bad with women. Women don't like me. Women don't want to be approached. Women don't like men. No, you don't know what you're doing. And you have to own that. But don't project that reality of lack of knowledge and understanding on every man. Or you see some guys have a lot of success and you think, oh, it's because he's handsome. No, there are a lot of guys who have looks that get no play because their conversational skills are horrendous as well. Mm-hmm. So that's addressing the conversation part. Now, let's talk about the second part. Approached by men sexually at conventions. Now, I don't know what he means by approach sexually, but I'm going to tell you what I mean. When guys talk to women, they oftentimes go up to the ones they're attracted to, unless they have another reason for talking to her. Men are usually the initiators. Right. They usually go up to women, the risk rejection for the women they are attracted to. Now let's break this down to the basics. What does attraction mean? What does that mean?
You're right.
What does that mean for the audience? Is it attraction mean you want to be platonic friends, no sexual interest, or non-platonic friends, sexual interest? Right? And then guys go, well, it doesn't mean I only want sex. it never said you only wanted sex. It said that the motivation was that you were sexually attracted to her.
Right.
And then when it go, but, and that's where I usually see this binary thinking. If you're sexually attracted to a woman, it means all you want is sex. If you don't just want sex, that means you can't be sexually attracted. Where's this binary thing? You can you can be sexually attracted to a woman. You can both be sexually attracted to each other and not have sex.
Right. Wow.
Like crazy.
Shocker. Right.
Like there can be other factors for why you guys don't partake in actual sexual intercourse, but you acknowledge that the frame through which you're interacting is we are evaluating whether or not we're compatible romantically. Romance means you are sexually interested. If a girl says to a guy, hey, I will never have sex with you, most of them will go away. And then they pretend as if, oh, well, I just wanted to get to know you. Okay, we can get to know each other, but just know we're never going to have sex. They disappear. The only guys that don't disappear is actually the ones who genuinely wanted friendship. Then if that's the case, just state your intentions. Or if it's a case where you don't want, you don't know what you want, then say you don't know it. Hey, you seemed interesting. That's actually why I'm coming over to you. But when he says approach women sexually at conventions, I don't know if he thinks this means they're whipping it out at the convention, just unzipping pants, right? And that's what I'm saying to do. Or he thinks they go up to women and go, hey, baby, yeah, let's get to the back of the hotel. Like, bro, how you say something matters no matter what you're talking about. I don't know why people think when it comes to sex that somehow it means we need to have sex immediately, because I'm admitting that the motivation, the frame, because there are only two frames, there are the non-sexual relationships and they're platonic relationships and non-platonic. You're approaching, I'm not interested in a platonic relationship. I'm interested in a non-platonic relationship.
Right.
But that doesn't mean we're going to have sex today. But I do want you to know what motivated me to come over here, what I'm interested in, why I want to get to know you. It's also called telling the truth. Crazy.
Authenticity.
Authenticity is crazy. Clarity.
Right.
And we're going to get into him talking about how does this benefit women, because guys tend to think they're doing women a favor by being dishonest.
Right. Right.
Okay, we're going to challenge that today. So he says approaching them sexually at convention. If a guy does not know how to talk to a woman, it doesn't matter. So rule number one still applies.
Right.
Which is women don't want to be approached by a guy that she doesn't want to approach. But even if it's a guy she does want to approach her, and then his conversational style is horrendous, but it's, oh no, it's because he told her he was interested in her, that's why she has the problem.
Right.
No. Why do you think the quote goes, he was so cute until he opened his mouth? It is not sufficient to be cute.
Mm-hmm.
That is not everything. And sex isn't everything. But whenever guys hear the word sex, it becomes everything. Your prioritization of it is what and you're projecting that pedestalization of it on the woman.
Right.
So approaching men sexually, citing them as acting sexual, I don't know what that means. Acting is the guy like creepily groping up on her. Of course, he should get kicked out of the convention.
Right.
What are you doing, man?
Right.
Like, why do we forget basic social skills when it comes to the conversation of sex? Like, if
There's no circumstance where you're just like coming up to a woman and groping on her. So how could you even conceptualize? Yeah, it don't make sense.
Which is why usually I ask for clarity within these situations, and when I do, the person usually can't give me. Like, I'll say, okay, what does that look like?
Right.
No answer.
Right.
So understand what I am talking about. Now, it's understandable that you might not know what that looks like because you've never done it. So you think it's just a thing where it's not real. And that's where I say you don't know what you don't know. But if you assume and move through the world with the assumption that all there is to know about this I already know, so I can make a conclusion on what exists, what's possible and what's not, it's a very dangerous way to live. And so he says, citing acting sexual as to what made them feel uncomfortable. If you're a creepy dude acting sexual, I mean, I don't even know what that means.
Yeah, what does acting sexual mean?
Acting means you're pretending something you're not.
To be.
If a woman comes to me and she's being like weird,
yeah, like
yeah, of course I'm gonna be like, whoa, what are you doing?
Right,
like,
right.
Regardless of whether I was attracted to her or not. Exactly. Like, there's a proper way to go about things.
Right. Like, if you've seen a woman across the room, you're like, oh, that's a beautiful woman.
Right.
But then when y'all actually start talking, she's like, oh, heavens. Like, just
Big Daddy.
Big Daddy.
Whoa.
I just met you right now. Like, chill.
But it's not even
it's not even about I just met you. It's about the way that it's being gone about.
It's the communication. It's the conversation. It's because there are two conversations: the implicit, which is the sub-communication, and then the explicit, the words.
Right.
So she's sub-communicating a lot of unattractive qualities, right? And it's like you're killing your own situation. So let's say 10 women at a conference do that to me. Let's say every conference I go to, women approach me just like that. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm going to start saying? Man, I wish I could just go to a conference and women wouldn't approach me. Right. Not because I actually don't want to meet or not open to meeting the women.
Right.
It's because of how they do it.
Right. Right.
And so guys think they're going over there and they're just these smooth Macs.
Yeah.
And the woman is like, dear God. This is uncomfortable.
Yeah.
This dude is a weirdo.
Yeah.
What is he talking about?
Right.
And every guy thinks he's being charming. There's way more variables into why a man gets rejected than simply binary. She didn't want sex and she was at a convention and trust me, bro. I've been to plenty of conventions. Trust and believe. And I'm not the one going up to these women. I'll just put it that way. Mm-hmm. Right? If you really knew what went down at a lot of these conventions, but if you don't know, you don't know. Right. If you're not one of the guys, you're not going to know. Because the guys who do know won't tell you. Right. Why would they?
Right.
And so do understand you don't know what you don't know. But do understand this is from a place of love. I don't have any, I don't get a kick out of bragging or so. I don't care. I want guys who are good dudes to get better with women. There are a lot of dudes who aren't great. And that's the options they have, because it's either he's a good guy who gets it or a guy who's not so great that she's sexually drawn to, but is just a horrible person, right? And then the good guys tend to be the guys that are most stubborn and think they know everything. And it's like, but what if there were a way for you to actually be sexually attractive and be a good person? Crazy. And so it said, specifically citing them acting sexual, again, made them feel uncomfortable, wishing that they would just attend without being approached. If you're a creepy guy, she doesn't give a damn where you're at. She doesn't want to be approached. That's why women say at the gym, oh, I don't want to be approached, because most of those dudes see her in the half-naked little leggings and just some creepy little thing while she's working. I mean, if that happens over and over again, and most guys that approach you, you're not attracted to, and they don't know how to speak, and you're just trying to work out, of course, I'd be saying the same thing. Mm-hmm. Right? But you think it's because women don't want to be approached. Most guys don't know how to talk to women, and most guys aren't what women want. So most of you guys won't qualify. But don't say it doesn't exist. And it applies for all people.
Right.
If a woman is single and the dude she wants, or the best shot she like, let's say a woman single wants to meet her husband, sees a guy at the gym that just her type, you know, whatever that may seem like. Oh man, that could be my future husband, but too bad he's at the gym. Who cares? If she's not sure and she wants him bad enough, that doesn't matter. Right? Oh my God, you're at the gym. If he goes about it the right way, be mid squat, dude coming on, hey, can I talk to you for a moment? Like, bro, like common courtesy exists no matter what the context. I don't know why guys forget social graces when they're talking to women, or when they imagine sexuality or imagine the topic. Like, all is just this belligerent, and we're gonna get into why I say that. It's this aggressive, volatile, horn dog. Sleep. I'm like, tell me you don't get it without telling me you don't get it. If you think that's what it has to look like, you don't get it. And I understand the comment.
Right.
Right. I understand why I get these questions. It's just fine. As I said, it's going to be a little raw. Mm-hmm. Right. But I do this out of love. Mm-hmm. And so he said, how does it benefit them to say that more men should act openly sexual? Now, again, I don't know what he's talking about. Specifically, it's openly sexual. So if you're saying, if maybe he thinks that I'm saying that being comfortable with your sexuality is to go up to a woman at a conference, hey, would you like to have sex today? That's the only range of conversation. If you're talking about sex, it has to be the number one priority. It has to be the only thing you talk about. It has to be the only thing you want, and you have to have it quickly. All these assumptions are there that they don't know they have, that I never said.
Right.
You can establish a sex and not have sex until marriage. Mm-hmm. But you're interacting with the woman under the assumption, listen, I'm not sorry that I'm attracted to you. A lot of you guys are sorry you're attracted to the women. And you try to hide it and suppress it and then go, oh, well, the guys who are not the guys who just are honest about their intentions and they're authentic and they give the woman the choice to determine whether or not they want to partake in the situation, they're the assholes. They're the ones that don't get it. But me, oh yeah, I be hiding what I'm actually wanting. Never mentioned sex. I'm a gentleman. You know, I pretend that I'm not interested, and then I just try to slip it in the back door 3 weeks later.
I hope for it, but I'll never say it.
Yeah, or I'm just gonna reach for her hand. Or I'm going to leaning for the kiss, even though I never told her that I was interested, or I never explicitly stated. I subcommunicated it. Mm-hmm. And she's like, whoa, man, what are you doing? That's not the creepy guy. That's the guy that gets it. Blows my mind. If you just think for 2 seconds. The last question, well, there's one question here is, how does it benefit them that women... I never said men should openly act sexually. I don't know what you're talking about when you say that. A man sets the frame. Let me give an example. Hey, I noticed you're from over there. Mm-hmm. I think you're really cute. Wanted to come say hi. Right. That sets the frame for a sexual relationship. She now knows who you are and why you're talking to her.
Right.
It does not mean you guys have to go bang 2 minutes later. Hopefully that makes sense. When you go over, let me give the example like this. There are 2 offers you give for every encounter. Hey, would you like to have a non-sexual relationship? The woman can agree and say yes. And then the other, can we have a sexual relationship? The woman can agree. What guys tend to do is they go, I'm going to extend the illusion of a non-sexual relationship because they think I won't mention it. And then underneath, they have the desire of a sexual relationship. Yeah. And the woman grabs both hands without realizing it because he put the non-sexual and then backhand. Oh, Susie, I've been in love with you all this time.
Right, I done did all of this and da-da-da-da-da.
And then blamed the woman. So if you answer your question, how does this benefit them? I never said how meant to act openly sexually. You'd have to, clarify what that means. But what I did say is for a man to be honest, the man to tell the truth, mm-hmm. for a man and woman to give the woman the choice and not try to trick a woman into being with him by pretending that he doesn't find her attractive, mm-hmm. and he just wants to be her friend, or he just wants to go grab coffee for a business dinner when that's not really what he's about.
Right.
Right? And he pretends it's just about coffee. Because now that woman is accepting an invitation under false pretenses. when you know you're hiding something. And so guys who think like this promote insincerity, vagueness, a lack of clarity, and dishonesty.
Yeah.
And they think they're doing a woman a favor.
Yeah, because it's definitely not a favor. Just like if you ask any woman if they rather like deal with a man who was upfront about their intentions, or one that just hides it and like put on some type of facade of what it really is and it really ain't. Like 10 times out of 10 the woman gonna choose the guy that was honest, because it's like, now you giving me the option. Like, I might want what you want. Like, if you let me know up front, like, okay, this is, you know, I'm attracted to you, da 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 da, and da 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 da. Then that gives me the option to go, hey, I'm attracted to you in this way. So, or go, I'm not. And I think men fear that part. That's the part we're trying to delay. I'm going to not say what I'm really thinking and feeling.
I don't want to set the frame, again, extending the friendly hand, because very few women are going to reject the friendly hand.
Right.
So I can have her get to know me, and then she'll start getting attracted to me.
Right.
And I'm not saying that a woman can't build interest in a man in a way the more she gets to know him. That's why I'm like, we got to get out of this binary thing. If I say, oh, well, if we tell her you're attracted to her, then you can't get to know her. Please help explain to me how that makes sense. And why do you assume that because you find a woman attractive that you must have sex with her? There are plenty of women I speak with that I found sexually attractive that I didn't have sex with because she didn't qualify.
Right.
Like, but I didn't pretend that I wasn't sexually attracted to her.
Right.
I mean, and that really messes with women. But we got to get out of this place where you think if anything is sexual, it has to be short term. If anything has anything to do with sex, it has to be right now. And if you admit that you have interest in a woman and you don't want to be platonic friends, you don't want to just go out to grab coffee, you are interested in something more, then you're a bad person.
Right.
You're what's it called? Harassing women.
Yeah.
Right? It's just like, dude, if you go about it in a creepy way, never approach a woman. You're right.
Right.
Because you don't know what you're doing. But I'm tired of these dudes going, oh, well, I approached 10 women and they all rejected me. Therefore, that is evidence that they only go for guys that are rich and handsome and tall. Okay. So now you've blamed the market, the women, for why you don't get anything. But this is a variable we're leaving out here. What makes you think you know what you're doing? What makes you think you know everything there is to know about why every girl said no?
Right.
Bro could have not brushed his teeth in 20 years, smell like a dirty rag, and blame women for not wanting him. With no consideration of what women want. And so I'll hear guys come here and make it seem as if I'm like this, just lay it down and da-da-da. And I really try to uplift and encourage more than I admonish. But the reality is that women surround me 24/7.
And do.
And no complaints.
No.
In multiples. When I post these very conversations on TikTok, what the beauty of TikTok is, it allows people who've never met me to see this stuff.
Right.
When I tell you in droves, my most viral video on there was a video talking about how women see men differently based on how good they are in bed. Thousands of women like that. Not a single comment saying it wasn't true. I've had about 2 women going, it's not all about sex. And I said, I never said it was all about sex. I just said it's not.
And I literally think that was like 2 women.
2.
Literally 2. Out of droves.
Droves. Hundreds.
Hundreds, yeah.
And I'm like, these are women who've never seen me. They've never met me. They don't know me. And all of them. Usually, I've had women go, usually we don't agree. Usually when we hear men talk about stuff like this, we don't think they're like, oh, you get somebody young. This is exactly how it is.
Mm-hmm.
And 50,000 views.
Yeah.
So it's insane that guys will see that and go, well, yeah, those are just a certain type of woman.
Right.
Which is why you never see their true face when it comes to that, because of that assumption you have. If you never see, they don't have to, no woman ever has to show you that.
Right.
So if you never see it, of course you don't think it exists. It's the boogeyman.
Right.
And so that's the first part. And I laid out that foundation so that the rest of his questions can be quickly answered. So I never said, oh, openly sexual. I said, tell the truth. Don't deceive women. Mm-hmm. Crazy. I know I'm a bad guy. I know I'm just a piece of shit promoting all kinds of crazy stuff. He didn't say this, but it's like the way people respond when I say tell the truth about your desired intention. The guy always defaults, but that's not all I want. I never said that's all you want, but you do want it. Right. So stop acting like you don't. Stop being a liar to yourself and don't lie to that woman. Mm-hmm. Right? Tell her the truth. It might not be I want to have sex with you. That's not the truth right now for you. Okay. But you do find her cute. Tell her. Let her know you're not just here to be her platonic best friend.
Or you're going to end up her platonic.
And guys cry and complain about that.
Yeah. And they be stuck in that position for years, just hoping one day that the girl will get them a chance, will breathe the same air as them for a second. And I know because I've had guys.
Of course. I've never met a woman that hasn't had droves of those guys.
Right. And the harsh reality is those guys never get the time of day. And girls already know that they don't want them in the beginning.
Yep. Very early. And that's the part that they think there's this escalator of.
Yeah, no, we know. Like, it's no escalator. Like, it, I mean, just honestly, it was a guy that I knew for years. And I knew he had the biggest crush on me. I knew he was definitely interested in being more than friends with me. All the things. And I kept him around because I liked his company. I liked talking to him. He was cool. But I was never sexually attracted to him. Yep. And he never, he wanted to creep around the fact that he was sexually attracted to me when I knew it, in his actions, how he showed, everything showed how he felt, but it was nothing there, and I just kept him around because it was beneficial for him to be around. Yes,
and that's what guys don't get. You're great to have around,
right?
But don't conflate that with sexual attraction,
right? And
those are not the same thing. I'm sure. It's that wake up call that I want to give guys like that. It doesn't mean now, because then they always go, well, I need to become an asshole. Because when they hear the girl that they're the best friend of, they complain about the guy. They're why won't you just get with me?
Yeah, I definitely used to call him oh my God, this dude, he's breaking my heart.
Right. And then guys hear that and go, oh, women I would have been so good to her. It's not that you're a good guy. That's not why she's not. You can't. It's not that binary. Right. It's not the bad guyness that makes the girl want the guy. Right. It's not the good guyness that makes her not want you. Right. That's not what's happening. So guys go, oh, well, I need to be an asshole to get girls. Right. That's not what it is. And I've had droves of videos talking about it. I'm not going to go into that here. But these, what's called false causes, right? Where you attribute an effect and think it's the actual cause. The example I always give is a guy goes around that wears a blue nose, and all the girls are on him. So you think, oh, I need a blue nose. And so you wear a blue nose, thinking the cause of the result is the blue nose that he wears. Right. And you wear one and you get nothing. You're like, oh, okay, what the hell? The blue nose isn't the cause. And so, but you attributed a false cause. Right. And guys often attribute false causes to what makes a woman turned on to a man. And then they go, oh, well, it's this. No, it's not. It's not. Yeah. So he then goes, what makes you think that every guy is thinking about sex immediately? I already addressed that. Again, putting words in my mouth. I never said anything about thinking about sex immediately. This is the stuff I tend to hear. It's about hookup. It's about sex fast. I never said any of that. Yeah. I said, stop lying to yourself and stop lying to her. If she was 500 pounds and you had no interest, you would not give her the time of day. Guys do not pay very much attention to women they are not sexually attracted to. Right? There are plenty of women that would give you the time of day that you're not attracted to. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't mean that all your friends are women you're attracted to. What I'm saying is that if there's a choice between spending time and approaching the women you're attracted to and spending time and approaching the women you're not attracted to, you're going to always pick the ones you're attracted to.
Right.
You just don't have the option. And there's so many amazing women that aren't, beauty queens or anything like that. And that's fine. Like, I was going to say something that could have sounded horrible. I was going to say, and some of my greatest friends throughout, I'll say like this, some of my greatest female friends were always women I was not sexually attracted to. Mm-hmm. Like, I have an amazing relationship with so many great women throughout my life. Mm-hmm. And so it's not just all about sex. But this guy asked, what makes you think every guy's thinking about sex immediately? I never said that. Mm-hmm. I never said sex has to happen quickly. It has to happen. It has to be the biggest priority. Or it has to happen at all. Just tell the truth to yourself and to her. If you're not thinking about sex, then what is this conversation about? You don't want sex from her. Then that's your truth. Mm-hmm. But most of the time, that is not what it is.
Right. Yeah.
And guys lie to themselves and they try to hide it from the girl and try to make a move somewhere down the line and blindside the girl, and they think that's being a gentleman. Is that what you want your daughter to experience?
Right.
A guy who, doesn't make it clear why he's talking to her. Mm-hmm. Just think about the women in your life and think about how you want men to show up with them. Transparently and give them the choice, or deceptively, or even worse, the guys who pretend they want a relationship but just want to have sex.
Right. Oh my goodness, them the worst kind.
Right. Yeah. But that's a whole different thing.
Yeah.
He said, to me, it's rare for me to be attracted like that off the bat. It takes some time for me to get comfortable with someone to even think about it. That's okay. Nobody said you have to go out. That's what I'm saying. Like, what he's seeing and hearing and what I'm saying are not the same thing. Right. He's thinking, oh, you just got to go up to her, let's fuck, and you just whip it out at a conference. No.
I would hope not.
Like, dude.
Like, what?
Right. If you could be asking for the salt at Thanksgiving, it doesn't matter how you say, pass me the salt. You don't go, pass me the salt.
Bitch.
Right?
Sorry.
Like, if how you say something matters in just every other area of life, but somehow
it don't matter right here.
When you're talking about sex, when you're talking about your attraction to a woman, you just say it the one way. That's just the only way.
One way to say.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, I want to have sex right now.
And it has to be soon. It has to be now. It has to be condomless.
Damn.
Maybe I think
that. That's insane.
And I'm being facetious to make you realize how silly a lot of these things and notions that you've been programmed with you're blind to are, and how silly they are. Yeah. So take some time for me to be comfortable with someone to even think about it. So if I genuinely want to date somebody because I like them as a person, I'm just lying to myself, and I should have just acted like a horn dog instead. So notice how many assumptions and words he put in my mouth. So let's break it down. So if I genuinely want to date someone because I like them as a person, I'm just lying to myself. So he conflated, which is funny because if you hear the other pillars of that video,
we're going to leave the link to the other.
It literally goes against everything this guy's presuming. Right. But I get this kind of, anytime a guy who's uncomfortable with his own sexuality, which is funny because the very same dudes who are porn addicts, and in the weirdest of weird categories, no judgment, but preaching all this stuff publicly, and if I saw their porn history,
it'll be some sinister stuff.
Sinister stuff.
Yeah.
And it's usually the guys who are very open and honest in the public realm that are very rarely into a bunch of pornography. Mm-hmm. It's a very fascinating thing.
Yeah. And getting it.
Hey, I'm just going to leave it there.
Okay.
The hypocrisy.
Right.
So, if I genuinely want to date somebody because I like them as a person, I'm just lying to my... What? Where in the video did I say, if you genuinely like somebody and you like them as a person, then you can't be sexually attracted to them? What he's not realizing, he's saying that if I genuinely want to date somebody because I like them as a person, okay, so are you saying that you don't want to have sex with them?
Right.
This is the thing that I tend to hear. Well, what about, I like them as a person. Okay, like them as a person, but don't get mad at that girl if she doesn't want to have sex with you. But you are going to be mad. Right. If she tells you, oh, you like me as a person, great. Can we date but never have sex? You're going. So that is, if you're saying, oh, I don't need sex with all, I just want to date her as a person, I just want her personality, then great. What are we even talking about here? You just won.
Right.
If that is not true, mm-hmm. you are not just dating them because you like them as a person. Mm-hmm. That is part of why you're talking to them.
Right.
So yes, you are lying.
You wouldn't be getting to know them as a person if you were not initially attracted to them. There had to be an attraction for you to engage.
This feels like basics.
Right.
But I was there, so I can understand. Right, and I'm grateful for these reminders. Again, because if you're someone who has these thoughts, it's like, I guess that is a good point. Mm-hmm. And then he said, so I should have just acted like a horn dog. One.
Never said that.
Now he's projecting his presumption of what it looks like as a horn dog. You either a horn dog or you like her as a person.
No in between.
Which lets me know exactly where you are in your own romantic life. No disrespect, but just there are things guys say that let me know exactly their range of experience. Right. We talked about conceptual knowledge and experiential knowledge. Yeah. You think it's horn dog or like them as a person. Maybe it's possible that you can be mutually attracted to people, to someone, and don't have sex and get to know them. And then you could actually get to know them and realize you're not compatible and never have had sex. Wow. But no, you got to be running around. And again, that's why I realized the projections where I don't know where in my video I referred as a horn dog, because that's people's relationship with sexuality. Right? And then guys wonder why girls love the guy who's a bad boy. He doesn't think stuff like this. When she wants to go let loose, it's not that deep. It's not making it so serious. I just want to have fun. They go to them. Mm-hmm. But don't cry about it when you see it. Right. And then shame the women for going, oh, well, you should have been with a guy like you who think anything having to do with having sexual interest with a woman is a horn dog and is something to judge. Right. You're a judgmental guy.
So she'll never.
Never.
Literally.
Never. Come on, bro. Get a grip. What do you think of relationships where attraction is built over time? That's great. I never said in the video that, again, binary. It's either you're sexually attracted to her or you're building a quality relationship. What? Like, you're hearing stuff that I didn't say. And just on the off chance anybody else is hearing stuff that I don't say, this is what this video is for. Mm-hmm. What do you mean, what about men with less overall libido? Figure that out with your woman. You should determine what you're talking to the woman for. This has nothing to do with what I'm talking about, which is to be transparent and honest with the people you're speaking with, and not be a deceptive little shit. Right. And so, if you have low libido or don't want to have sex, then don't talk. What are we talking about here? I never said you got to. If you don't have sexual interest in the woman, why would you be talking about having sex with her? Why would you be flirting with her? Because flirting is the dance between, you could say, non-sexual conversation with sexual energy. right? So I could say, I've given the example before as like, you're trouble, right?
Right.
I never said anything sexual, but the underlying energy is sexual.
Right.
And she'll giggle. If she's not attracted to you, that's creepy.
Right. That's the part they don't get.
And so a guy hears that, oh, well, no, there are other variables.
If a guy I'm not attracted to tell myself, oh, you trouble, right? I'll be like, yeah, I am now.
Yeah, stop talking to me.
Right. But it's a totally different experience when it's a guy that you're attracted to. It's like, yeah.
Right.
or you try to, deny it a little bit. Like, not really.
Right.
Like,
I'm a homebody. Right. So the outcomes a man gets does not always mean, oh, well, it's 1-to-1 ratio.
Right.
Come on, bro. Get a grip. There are nuances to life. So no, you don't have to. Attraction is built over time. I mean, of course that can happen, right? And that's even a more complicated thing, because what guys don't realize is a lot of times a woman will pick a man based on her needs in that moment. If she's in a season where she's just looking for fun, she's going to gravitate to guys who are more fun and short term. Yeah. She's in a season where she's looking for something to settle down, she's going to gravitate to guys who are like that.
Yeah. Right.
It's just rare that she finds guys who she's actually sexually attracted to and are good long term.
Right.
They're usually one or the other.
Right.
Right. And I don't want to go too much into the shadow world stuff. We'll kind of go into it here. And if you have a low libido, then find somebody who doesn't want, like, if that's not what it is for you, then all this is talking about is telling the truth.
Yeah.
Not about, you mean to be comfortable with your own sexuality, which I stated in the video various times. But that makes him a horn dog, because it's all about this. Okay. It says another thing, what makes you think every single woman without exception has shadow worlds when there are women who are repulsed by sex that he knows? Because how does he know there are women who are repulsed by sex?
If he's not.
God. So either he tried to have sex with that woman and she was repulsed, and therefore he concluded she's repulsed by sex, or he's hearing about women who are saying they're repulsed by sex. Right. So we're just doing granular data here. Like, no one way or the other. Of course, there are exceptions that exist. And so, repulsed by sex, asexual, again, that's a different conversation. Trauma victim, it's a different conversation. And low libido. So I'm not sure what this has to do with anything. I don't know what this has to do with the conversation about sex. Perhaps he assumes that. Well, I guess this is more about the shadow world thing.
Yeah.
So if a woman, let's put it this, so shadow world, what is shadow world? Shadow world is the space where a woman expresses her true sexual desires.
Right.
Period.
Yeah.
What those true sexual desires and intentions are range. I know this is crazy. For some women, it's going to be a little pulling up the hair and saying daddy. For others, it's going to be extreme BDSMs and other things. Pain, like liquids and all kinds of stuff.
Right.
So to answer this guy, that side of a woman, when she reveals it, because women are more likely to be socially shamed for being intrigued in taboo things. That's why they're the ones who read erotica. Try reading 5 different erotica that women, and you'll see what women like. Mm-hmm. Men rarely read erotica. That is a female-dominated category of read. Oh, well, I just ignore that data because it doesn't validate my point of view on women.
Right.
There are erotica that exist about people being ripped apart. Yeah. And the woman, like, her arm being ripped off and she's getting... I don't think you understand the range of possibility.
Yeah.
And because you think you know more than you do, you actually are being someone who is...
They would never share it with.
But why? Because you think you know everything, and so you're contracting her range of experience in your belief system.
Right.
So let's say that there were women that have sexual shadow worlds that you think didn't. but you think they don't. But let's say a woman, let's go down this category. Let's say repulsed by sex. I go to a woman who's repulsed by sex and I say, hey, I think you're cute. I want to meet you. And she's repulsed by sex. She's going to, oh, I'm not interested. What about that may set the frame, hey, this is a sexual relationship, meaning I am sexually attracted to you. That's why I'm coming over to you. Mm-hmm. If she's repulsed by sex, the moment I establish it, no disrespect, no, she'll forget about 10 seconds later if she's not interested. Asexual, hey, I think you're good. Oh, I'm attracted to you too, or I want you to know I'm asexual, or I'm not interested. Trauma victim, hey, I think you're cute. But in every case, being clear and upfront with the woman actually gives all these cases a better chance and a greater opportunity to choose for themselves what's best for them.
Yes.
When the guy goes, hey, I want to get to know you, but finds out she's a trauma victim and finds out on the back end, now it's a problem.
Now after he done made a move, now she's uncomfortable because you made a move and she's a trauma victim. And you didn't make it clear
that what you were about.
Exactly. Now that, like, even just talking about that just riled up some in me, because like that's just how detrimental it could be for you to be deceptive. Like you being you showing up like that done caused a bigger problem than if you would have just been straight up.
And now she's building a relationship assuming she has a platonic friend.
Right.
And now you showed your hand, revealed your hand. Oh, actually, I have feelings for you. And now it's like, I know I experienced this with women. Mm-hmm. I've had so many women that have stopped. Women are a lot more vicious about it. They don't get, guys get a lot of flack for when they reveal that they want to be more than friends. But like, I've not have a positive experience with women with that.
Right.
Yeah, they always ghost.
Right.
Like when they realize.
You don't want to.
Yeah.
You don't want to do what?
Yeah, they always ghost. That's not something that's spoken about enough because it's very rarely experienced. Mm-hmm. But I mean, I can't count how many times when a woman finds out that I'm either I've been into it with one, I say we're gonna stop, and just because it might ruin our friendship if we were friends, or she may have done something I'm like, yeah, that's that part of our relationship will end. They always disappear when that's not in the picture, especially if they really enjoy the experience. Like, if that's gone, that's a very common thing.
Right.
And I could...
She's like, I'm not getting up.
Right, I'm out of here.
I can't talk to you anymore.
It's very common.
Yeah.
And so, then I said to him, good questions, da-da-da. And so he gave me some timestamps. So we're going to close out by going over his timestamps here. These won't take long. Women fundamentally know, okay, we do have this side to us that is the freak, the nasty girl, the most forbidden thoughts and desires that you can conceive of. So right here, I state that women instinctively know they have their kinky side. Mm-hmm. And so I'm guessing, because I told him to quote me because he was misinterpreting. He was asking me to defend things I didn't say. Right. So I said, okay, what you're claiming I said I didn't say, which is what this entire first half of the video was. Right. And so right there, he gives a part where in the video where I said, women instinctively know that the kinky side. And so I'm guessing that was a rebuttal to maybe the horn dog stuff. I think probably the shadow world. Woman as a shadow.
Yeah.
So it's almost like the thing with these kinds of things that I found it funny, actually. It would be the same kind of question, and there's probably a fallacy for this. It'd be the same question. He's essentially trying to get me to do something impossible. It would be like me saying, it'd be like, how do you know the Illuminati exists, for example, right? And it's like, okay, I could go, I don't know they exist, and they could exist. So that's one possibility. They could exist, but I don't know they exist. Mm-hmm. They could not exist, and I don't know they exist, right? But they could also not exist. I mean, they could also exist, and I can't prove it. But that doesn't change the fact that they exist. But I can't prove it. Mm-hmm. Right? And it's like, okay, well, if you can't prove it, that means they don't exist. No. It means that until the proof is revealed, you can choose to determine which side of the fence you want to be on.
Right.
Now, let's say that I was a member of the Illuminati. I'm telling you from first-hand experience. Now, it's the thing of whether or not you want to believe. Not a question of whether it's real.
Right.
So with the shadow world, the thing about this is that, there's a common stat that goes around that says like most women, like 80% of the women go for 20% of the men or something like that. That stat is a little weird, but let's just to work with that for now.
Right.
That means there's a subsection of men that most of the women go for.
Right.
Right. So when he walks in a room, if it's 20 women, let's say between 10 and 20 of the women in there just physically would say yes to him. Mm-hmm. And then if he has the conversational skills to back it up, he just has a plethora of options. Mm-hmm. Right? Let's take money and status and all that out of the way, where she wants him for his lifestyle. We're talking just baseline raw attraction. Mm-hmm. What that guy will experience, get exposed to, what will be in his phone, what women will be willing to do, won't be willing to do when nobody's watching, will be different than the guy that when he goes in the room, only one woman out of the 20 is checking for him.
Right.
So now, let's say those two don't know each other, which is typically the case. Mm-hmm. The guy on the furthest extreme and the guy on the lowest extreme are very rarely friends. Mm-hmm. Now, they can be if there's some other thing, right? That's not always the case, right? We're talking about generalities. But let's say that is the case. And they get to peek into each other's worlds. Mm-hmm. And he goes, oh, what happened last night at the party? The guy who was one out of 20 women will go, if he has basic social skills, it was cool, cool. I got one number, right? Mm-hmm. The guy on the other side of the extreme may say something like, oh, yeah, it's crazy. These three girls just dragged me upstairs and they all started to get on their knees and lined up and gave me a blowjob in a line. Right? And he'd go, what? What? Yeah, you remember those pretty girls that were in the corner? Yeah, they it's crazy. I was just like, oh, where are we going? They're like, we're going to tell you soon. They just pulled me upstairs and it was crazy. I never had a foursome before. Or 5 of them. I'd be like, what? No way, bro.
Right.
And so now we get the situation where, no, I'm a member of the Illuminati. I was a past member. And I left, and I'm telling you what it was. Mm-hmm. And he goes, he's never been a member, that's not real. And now it's like, prove it. So unless I film it, and unless there's some kind of, then he's like, oh, well, that's not the real. Now we can reproduce things like that, but then now the intention is to have those experiences with those women just to prove it to some guy, which I don't condone. Yeah, no. Right? Because then now you're using the women to validate and prove something. He doesn't matter that much. Yeah. Yeah. But he has a point where he says, how do I know it's all women? I don't know. I don't know. Now, that coin also goes, you don't know either. Right? Are there exceptions? I think it's far likely that there are going to be exceptions. There can be exceptions to damn near anything. Mm-hmm. Now, if we're going to use the general rule, we're going to then go, okay, we're going back to the 80-20 thing. What do guys who are in the 20%, what kind of stories and experiences have they had? That will give you a glimpse into what's possible. Now then the question is, if sex is something that always is happening and nobody knows about it, which is why it's called the shadow world, how can you ever have an answer to something that you can never see?
Right. It's not quantifiable.
It's impossible.
Yeah.
So you're asking me to do something impossible. That's like saying, how many people have sex every day? It's impossible to know that because sex is always happening out of plain sight.
Mm-hmm.
It is impossible to know that. It can never be quantified. You can only quantify something that you can measure. Well, how do you measure how many people are having sex? You know about it. But that's the one thing people do and they don't tell people about other than the people they're doing it with.
Right.
So when it comes to sexual shadow world things, it is a game of experience. Mm-hmm. Right? It is a game of, because you've been let in various times.
Right. And
you learn the pattern of how to get in. And so when I come on these videos and I share certain things, I'm a scientist first. I'm not coming on here just, this random stuff about blah, blah, blah. Which is why I said earlier in the video, when I put these things on TikTok, girls and women, oh my God, how does he know some? I don't ever share them on YouTube, but if I shared how does he know? These are random women that have never, why don't I ever get comments that goes, that's BS? Out of how many thousands upon thousands upon thousands of women?
Mm-hmm.
Right. And women, I promise you, if I went on there and I was like, women like when you punch them in the back of the head. I guarantee you I'd get droves of women going, that's some nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
When it's in bullshit, they will call you out.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And so, understand you don't know what you don't know. And what I loved about this guy's comment is he came in inquisitively. Right? He did put words in my mouth, which I don't particularly like, but I could tell that it was not in bad spirits.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm always open to answering questions and giving clarity. Right? But do understand that not because you haven't experienced it or haven't seen it means it doesn't exist. Because then you're going to go, all I've seen is all there is. You're an intelligent guy. You should know why. That's a dangerous way to go about life. So the next one was not understanding that every wife has an inner hoe. What does that represent? The shadow world, again, is a space for a woman's desires. What does the inner hoe mean? It means her revealing things that she wants to do and wants to experience, that she knows she wants to experience, but is afraid to admit them because of the judgment she might receive. And there's a range to that. So inner hoe does not just mean she wants to dance around on the chandelier and try to fall on it in midair. Right?
What? You're irritated.
Right? There's a range to that. It means she shows a side of herself that she's like, I might get judged. Mm-hmm. Right? Maybe she does certain things a little sloppier than normal, that she's like, I don't want to be. It means revealing a side of herself that she would probably be fearful if anybody found that she was that way in public. Mm-hmm. That's the shadow. And for you, because you're an uninitiated man, she may not show the fullest extent. Not because she may not, it's not even necessarily because she's not attracted to you. It could just be because I don't want to be judged. So I want the benefit of a man that's comfortable with his own sexuality is that she can go all out in the way that she wants to express herself.
Right.
And not feel like you're going to be judgmental because of your own inner suppression. Mm-hmm. And guys think they're doing a woman a favor. She's waiting for a guy that she is attracted to be comfortable with his own sexuality so that she can reveal her true desires and intentions, which is going back to the shadow world thing. Mm-hmm. We just talked about that. So the next one is going to be 30 minutes, 50 seconds. Whew, thank goodness he's one of the good ones, but all she's thinking is you're one of the nice ones. Let's put it that way. So right here it says the woman is saying, whew, thank goodness. The guy's thinking, thank goodness he's one of the good ones. But what she's really thinking is he's one of the nice ones. What does that mean? The nice ones are simply the guys who are uncomfortable with their own desires and intentions. Mm-hmm. Suppress that and pretend that they're something they're not to the woman. Present to the woman, hey, you want to be friends? Hey, you want to go out and hang out? Hey, let's hang out sometime. Knows what he really wants, why he's really interested in hanging out. Doesn't say it. Hope that he's going to pull a move or hang out 3 times. And in the hanging out, she gets to know him. And then he's going to reveal, haha, I actually really wanted to have sex with you. I really actually wanted a romantic relationship with you. I really have a crush on you. I really think you're beautiful. Why in...
That'd be the most awkward thing ever. If you cool with a dude and then he'd be like, oh my gosh, like this whole time I had a crush on you. It's like,
Yes, it's a very uncomfortable space to put a woman in. Yet, again, guys think they're doing women favors. But if you were doing women favors, then guys who think like this should be swimming in pussy. Why don't they want you? What's the point of all this? Other than with all like ranting and expressing his ventings and frustrations. Like I actually genuinely see so much potential in a lot of the guys, and they're in their own way and they don't even know. I'm not saying go around sling your dick out. If you don't know, ask. Right? I don't know what you mean. Can you clarify what you mean by this?
But in a way that don't put words in your mouth.
Right.
Because I don't get why people do that. They put their own assumptions and twist up the words. And,
right.
Yeah.
Oh, he's recommending that we were horn dogs, which is funny because again, in the 4 pillars, which is funny because it's also about talking to women that you're attracted to. So the fact that you bring up your sexual interest to a woman you're attracted to is blasphemy. Like that's what they're suggesting. Right. You should, it's clear, it's obvious, bro. Everybody knows when you're attracted to a woman, you talk about everything but the fact that you're attracted to her.
All right. And I think the point you was about to make too is that the first thing was about adding value to her life that has nothing to do with having sex with her.
And the 3rd thing and the 4th thing.
Yeah.
But you take one part and you go, horn dogs. Like, brother, there's a reason. And I mean this with all due respect. But if you were a guy who thought like that, there's a reason your results are the way they are. Realize you don't know what you don't know. Mm-hmm. You don't know. And that's okay. Right? I think it's an Alcohol Anonymous quote where it's like, the first step to growth is to admit the truth. Right? Mm-hmm. And the truth in the case where a lot of guys struggle is, I don't know how to do it. I also don't know how to even know how to do it. But that pride, oh no, I'm going to figure it out. Good luck.